Hey guys, I just got here to delivery Springdale, Springdale, Arkansas, and I have a truck and trailer in the dock, so I'm next in line. So as soon as he moves, I'm getting in the dock, getting unloaded, and going home, I hope. A lot has transpired. I just wanted to do a quick video for you guys, kind of give you an update. There are a lot of misunderstandings on what has been happening lately with my job situation and why I put up with the things I put up. And, you know, as some of you have seen, I've gotten very upset. You know, people have called me every name in the book. They've gotten pissed off with me. And then when I respond back harshly to them and stand up for myself, then I'm called bipolar, or you know, or they say I have mental problems because I actually, oh my God, she actually stood up for herself and gave the facts. So that's what I'm here to do today, is to give you guys the facts. Bottom line, you know, why don't I quit? Okay, well, for one, I got let go from one company, as you guys know. You can watch the video if you don't. But that was because I was actually checking my stuff, and the company didn't like that because I was finding DOT violations, and they were having to fix things, and it was costing them money. Because God forbid I want to run actually legal and protect the public as a truck driver. So that company was gone. So I went with the other company. You guys saw what happened with that. They were trying to run me illegal at times. They were trying to run me constantly. I was constantly fatigued. They set me up and accused me of heavy drug and alcohol use, which turned out to be bogus. There are some things I know about the company because I know people in management there that I was falsely accused of, and that's all I'm going to say. But it's bull. And I walked. I told him, screw you, F off, I'm done, I'm gone. Left that company, and my boyfriend's dad owns his own trucking company. He has 2 trucks officially, but one's leased directly with this other company I was working for. He offered me a job to go run his truck, but he subcontracts with the company that I just quit. So if you guys are following along, I told the one company to F off. I'm done with their I'm not going to be pushed around. I run legal, and I get hired on with Jordan's dad with his own trucking company as an owner-op. So, but he subcontracts with the company I just quit. So that's how we got roped into dealing with the bull crap of that whole thing. So that's why I was stuck dealing with the nonsense of that. Now you guys might say, okay, well, if he's got crappy equipment that doesn't work, you know, why don't you just quit and go with another company? Well, for one, the equipment, you guys have seen the truck. It looks rough as hell. Like, it looks like a crap dump truck. Like, you should not drive. Here's the thing. His truck, it looks rough on the outside. It's had suspension replaced. It's had tires replaced. It's had exhaust replaced. It has a completely rebuilt Cummins engine with almost no miles. And they verified this through Cummins. It has been completely rebuilt. This thing's got almost no miles. Everything has been replaced on this truck. Like, it should be a great, solid running truck. It just looks rough on the outside because of the paint job. So, and it has an electrical, there's like some ground issue or something with the whole dashboard, and that's what we're trying to figure out with the speedometer. But bottom line, it's an awesome truck. So, you know, that's why we've stuck with this, and quite literally my boss, Jordan's dad, has dumped pretty much his life savings into this truck. And here I am trying to, you know, help the family out and trying to, you know, help keep this truck on the road and figure out what's going on with it, because we've all invested so much money and time and energy into the family business, and I'm trying to help him with that. So, number one, that's why I've been sticking around, you know, and sadly we keep getting sucked into the politics of this other company. But, you know, and here's the thing. Well, you might ask, well, if he's an owner-op, why doesn't he just take other contracts? Without getting into details, because that's his details to give, there are restrictions with insurance, as some of you guys know. some companies require larger amounts of insurance coverage and being in business a certain amount of time as a trucking company before you can get those contracts. So basically be full-blown OTR, which bottom line I can't do right now. And the reason I can't do full-blown OTR because God knows I've done a lot of it. I've went through Canada. I've went all over the place. Nogales. Been at the Mexican border many times. I was there when they were hanging people from bridges down in Texas, southern Texas. Like, it was bad. It was bad. There was guys with machine guns, like Border Patrol, walking around. It was ridiculous. Looks like my load's ready. But no, it was ridiculous. And I've done all that. I've worked really hard. I've started other businesses besides just truck driving. And they're going well. They're not enough to pay me full time, but they're almost there. You know, I can't float it without trucking on its own, but at the same time, it's my business. So anyway, guys, I just got the trailer in the dock, so, but, you know, a lot of people have been asking me, why don't you just quit and find a better job? There's tons of trucking opportunities. If you really have as much experience as you say you do, why don't you take them? Here's why. Because one of my businesses that I started on the side to have a better opportunity in life, it is a company that does government contracting, armed security for military sites, disaster response, technical rescue, traffic control during disasters. The reason we started was to help other people. Like, most of the things that we do, we don't even take money for. We just see that a community needs help. They've just been hit by a tornado. You know, whatever, we respond, and half the time, hell, we've handled traffic control on accidents for the sheriff's office, for a sheriff's office in Missouri. We've handled traffic control. They gave us the whole highway. Like, I'm telling you guys, like, we do a lot. We've worked motorcycle accidents and assisted the sheriff's office with that. We've done traffic control for stalled vehicles, and, you know, it's just something we do to give back to the community and to help communities that have been hit by disaster. But we're under federal restrictions, and by law, in order to maintain all of my certifications and reps as a government contractor, I am required to maintain full-time self-employed status. The moment I go W-2 with any company, I lose my self-employed status and potentially face a $10,000 fine from the federal government for saying I'm self-employed and able to contract when I'm not. I am under federal restriction if I want to maintain our organization helping communities and doing these things or taking government contracts. I'm not allowed by law to go W-2 at this point, or I lose everything. I lose that whole company. Everything goes under. And I'm not willing to do that. Here I am. I'm trying to do something kind and give back to communities. And hell, we've spent so many hours out in the heat helping sheriff's offices and, you know, helping with emergency response out of our own pocket. We didn't get paid a dime. We didn't get a damn thing for doing it. But the reason we do it is because we wanted to give back. We wanted to help sheriff's offices who get overwhelmed or have budget crunches. And, you know, that's why we're here. And so, unfortunately, trying to do a good thing has boxed us into where, you know, hey, I'm getting screwed here. And it is a major slap in the face when I have people on YouTube attacking me and saying, hey, you're lazy, you just don't want to work. I put 30, 40 hours a week into my other businesses. And I'm just talking about one here. You scope piling that 70 hours driving a semi-truck and then another 30 to 40 hours a week trying to manage other businesses, which most people don't have on their plate, mind you. I'm working 100 to 110 hours a week. And then people attack me and say, that's a DOT violation. You can't do that. No dip, Sherlock. That's why I tell these companies, I will contract with you. I will be your help, but you got me 4 days a week, you know, or 5 days if I have a slow week in my business. But bottom line, I'm not going to violate that 70-hour rule. So for people that say, oh, you're full of shit, you're just lazy, you don't want to work, you're not a real truck driver then. You know what? Go F off. Because I work my ass off more than so many other drivers out there. You know, I was watching this show recently and they were talking about how women many times are paid much less than men in various industries. And they were arguing the back and forth of why that is, right? Somebody brought up something and it was a good point. And it was that many times women make choices that if there's opportunity to stay over, to work an extra day, to stay, you know, work overtime on the weekend or stay late or whatnot, most of the time women are not willing to do it because they have kids, they have a family, they care about things at home that need taken care of. And so a lot of times we make decisions that are a little more balanced when it comes to work. You know, we're trying to balance the rest of our lives, you know, and that was one thing that I've brought up with this truck driving thing is I want to work. I want to be out here. I'm willing to do the work. But what happens if I get pregnant? What happens if I have a child and I need time off to be with that newborn? Well, you just have to work. Like, we have to have you. Really? Effing really? And to me, that's discrimination. I'm willing to work. I'm willing to do everything I can. During peak season, I've been over backwards, as you guys saw, working for these companies. And yet, the one time that, you know, if I were to have a child and I need time to be able to stay home while they're young, the company's just going to try to ditch me and get rid of me. I can't do this. Like, I'm not going to put up with that anymore. And then, God forbid, when I raise my voice, everybody gets offended because she actually defended herself and stood up for herself. I'm just done. I'm done with all that nonsense. And I had to set the record straight with you guys. So this is what's going on. I am restricted to 1099 when it comes to work. So I have to maintain self-employed. So I can get my own lease truck. But once again, here's the problem. If I get tied into a long-term lease, then most of these companies wanted OTR. I can find a local company, but if we decide to move, which we're considering, then they may or may not be able to cover me. I may have to give the truck back. If my situation changes and I need time off because we're having children, I'm screwed. Like, your truck has to run. Like, it either runs or you're going to lose money. You're locked into this thing. It's just a nightmare. Like, it boxes you in to working at least 70 hours a week, if not more, by the time you're trying to manage all of this legal stuff on your own. So I've thrown out the idea on leasing my own truck because I can't deal with that. With trying to do these other things that I'm doing, trying to do all this, I can't manage beyond 70 hours a week in a semi-truck. I just can't do it. So my other option is to contract myself out as a 1099 contractor, which when I've talked to big companies, they laugh at me. They're like, no, number one, we don't do part-time. We can't cut you back less than 70 hours a week. You're more than likely going to be needed 6 days a week, and we need you all the time because we're behind. Number two, even if I find one that will try to work with me somewhat, most of these companies, guys, the moment I mention that I'm self-employed, that I have things that pay the bills, they don't want me because I'm a flight risk of leaving their company. And I'm like, yeah, hell yeah, that's how it's going to work. You treat me fairly, I stick with you, I contract your freight. It works both ways. You treat me fairly, I treat you fairly. But they know that they can take advantage of me if I don't have that support. Unfortunately, there's so many politics when it comes to truck driving. Like, I'm just laying it out there. And when I do, mind you, I guarantee you, I will have like 30 or 40 comments saying, see, all she does is complain. No, I'm telling it like it is. This is what it's like out here. And when I stand up for myself, oh, it's some nagging woman on YouTube. Really? Really? Effing really? I'm out here and I'm making something of my life. Like I said, you know, most of these companies don't want to deal with you if they find out you have another business. Even if they do, they'll say, okay, great, we can work with you, but you have to go W-2. Well, I can't. I'm under federal restrictions because of my other work. Well, I'm sorry, that's all we can do. You have to be a W-2 employee or else we can't work with you. So the only companies that I've been able to find, guys, are that do 1099 and say they will work with me are tiny little mom and pop companies that are willing to subcontract for the extra help. And that's what I've been trying to do. But the problem is, whenever you deal with mom and pop tiny subcontracting companies, you're dealing with a lot of illegal crap going down that they don't want people to find out about. So half the time when they find out you do YouTube, then they want you gone immediately, number one. And number two, even if they're okay with it, they just want you to be able to run illegal so that they don't have to pay for fixing everything. So I've been in this perpetual thing where I'm getting sucked into all of this crap. You either drive illegal or, you know, we're going to fire you. And then I'm back to the same boat and I'm going through company after company because of this nonsense. And here I am with a great record, solid CSA score, you know, no accidents, you know, I cover my crap, and nobody wants me because they don't want to deal with all that. They don't want to deal with somebody that's going to run legal, that is transparent, and, you know, that can only work, you know, part-time, less than 70 hours, which trucking considers part-time. You know, either way I look at it, I'm beyond full-time because of everything that I do. And some of you have been asking too, like, why do you drive sometimes when you're tired? I thought you said you were done with that. Here's the problem. The times that that has happened, they tried to put Carl, who had a heart attack recently. They've been using him as blackmail. They had him up 24 hours straight dealing with crap. They kept giving him work to do, had him out replacing things on trucks. He's recovering from a freaking heart attack. Like, he's still in recovery. They've got him running around, stressed out, not sleeping. And they told me, it's either him or you. Either one can run tonight, but it's going to be one of you. Because you guys work for the same company now. Because you guys are owner-operators now. You know, supposedly I work for him. So they're like, your truck's got to go. So they're like, we're either going to put Carl in it. He's been up 24 hours and could possibly have a second heart attack if he's stressed out. Or it can be you. And you're saying that you only got 4 hours of sleep. So I'm sitting here thinking, God, number one, the public's in danger because the truck's effing running, you know, from somebody who's been up 24 hours. And I'm just laying this out. Like, I know people are going to get pissed off when I say that, but bottom line, that's what happened. Or number two, I can drive tired at 4 hours of sleep and keep pulling over and going to sleep and the load be late. And I tell them to go F off when they get mad that the load's late because they put me in that position to begin with, which is what's happening, you know. So that's what I've been doing. I've been, you know, going out tired because I'm less tired than the other guy that I'm afraid is going to kill somebody or get killed himself during the night. And it's family. And just to be put under that pressure is effing ridiculous. That's enough for now. I think they're just about done with my load. But I just wanted to set the record straight on why I have been pulled into all this stuff. And why I'm not sitting here. That's the thing. I'm not sitting here complaining and just going, oh, poor me, you know, and deciding not to change my situation. No, I'm doing every damn thing I can to drive safe, to better my situation, to find a solid company. But bottom line, nobody effing wants to deal with me because I run legal and because I do have opportunity aside from trucking. Everybody sees it as a threat. So, you know, there's nothing I can do about that other than keep trying and hope something works out.